Good morning, everyone. Before we get started today, I wanted to ask you to support one of our affiliate partners, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q. This company uses the finest organic, non-GMO ingredients in their products. Our featured product today is CHOQ Lit Powder. I use it every morning in my coffee, making it the most nutritious coffee mocha on the planet. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. To find out more, click the link below. They have sales all the time, so hurry and get yours today. Thank you. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful night's sleep. I sure did. Man, fell asleep on the couch. Love our couch, man. It feels nice. I really get a good night's sleep when I sleep on the couch. Yeah, I stayed up too late watching a movie. Oh well. Hey, Mama said there'd be days like that. So today we're going to be continuing with the second chapter of Genesis, diving a little more deeply into it because there's some really interesting things that we're going to talk about today. And those of you who are flat earthers, you're going to like this episode. What? It's possible. Have you ever seen it? Oh yeah, you say pictures of it. But every one of those pictures that you've seen are composites. Yeah. Lots of pictures put together to make a picture. That's what they say. You know, they. Anyway, but this is really interesting. Now, there's certain times where you're reading the Bible and you get this sense like, why was that put in there? And it just kind of doesn't belong. It doesn't go with the flow of the message. You know, it's kind of like it jumps around. And this is one of those times. Because we were talking about, you know, how God formed man and that nothing could be on the earth until man was there to till the ground, or man was there to transfer that energy into the physical universe and make it all happen. You know, we were just talking about that, and then it jumps into these four rivers. Yeah, what are those all about? Hold on a second. Let's read and find out. Put on my magic glasses so I can see the Word of God more clearly. So, we're going to go to verse. Sorry, I was reading ahead. I was wanting to find out what's at the end of the story. So it said here, chapter 2, verse 10, and river, and let me go before that so you can see what I'm talking about here. It says in verse 8, and Hashem God planted a garden in Eden to the east, and placed there the man whom he had formed. And Hashem God caused to sprout from the ground every tree that was pleasing to the sight, and good for food. Also the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad. Okay? And then it goes, a river issues forth from Eden to water the garden. And from there it is divided and becomes 4 headwaters. The name of the first is Pison, the one that encircles the whole land of Havilah, yeah, where the gold is. The gold of that land is good. The Bedolic is there, and Shoham stone. And the Shoham stone. Those must have been pretty precious things. Some of them I couldn't find the definition for. But look those up. It might be an interesting story to see what those are and how precious they are. There you go. So the name of the first river is Pison, and the name of the second river is Gihon. Gihon. The one that encircles the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Hiddekel, the one that flows toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. And Hashem, God, took man and placed him in the Garden of Eden. So that kind of jumps off to this totally different thing that seems irrelevant to the story. And what is being really being said here and really being shown here? You know, talking about these four rivers and how they encircle these different islands. You know, they're riverheads. Well, everything else is watered with that. I want to show you a map. And this might help. This might help see a picture here of a location on planet Earth that they could be talking about here. The names have been changed only to protect the innocent. But I want to show you this map. Now, on this map, now this is an illustration of one of the oldest maps ever made. And they say that the guy who created this was a master map maker, an M&M. Oh, M&Ms. I like M&Ms. But you can see in the center of this, you have this stone in the center. And then you have these riverheads that are broken into four pieces. In the center of this map, there's this, and the center of this map is the North Pole. Now, this map here is what flat earthers use to prove their point that the Earth is flat. Because of this map. And similar maps. This isn't the only one. There were other people that have made maps like this and have described it and have said that stone, that pillar that's right there in the center, it has such a strong magnetic pull that if any ships get close to it that are made of steel, they will be attracted to it and you will not be able to pull it away. So, but that's what they say. But it's kind of weird that that description would be put at that point in the Bible. It just doesn't seem to make sense. So there's a meaning there for those that God hasn't revealed to me yet. So I can't give you a clear explanation on the spiritual significance of that other than my conspiracy guy would say, somebody put it in there for some reason, probably more likely to save it, to save that description in a place where it would be safe. Putting it in the Bible kind of makes it a permanent part of history, so nobody will ever forget that description of where Eden is. Okay. And perhaps a flat earther put it in there to throw us off and say, hey, right here it's describing this, and the only place on the world that resembles that is the North Pole. So, just wanted to throw that in there. There's a whole lot of different stories about what's going on up at the North Pole, and it's interesting that nations kind of own parts of the North Pole. You know, that's part of their land, part of their country around the North Pole, the continents that are there. But you know what else? Nobody owns the South Pole. And to fly over the South Pole, it's restricted airspace. Why? Why? You know, you can drive to the North Pole, but you can't drive to the South Pole. I know. Kind of weird, ain't it? Have I got videos for you to see? So until God gives me the clearance to share what that particular portion of the book of Genesis means, we're going to speculate that it was put there to preserve it, to preserve that definition or that description. But hey, we're going to go on now and talk about what God is doing with this guy he calls man. So, 15. Hashem God took the man and placed him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. Guard it from what? What would he need to protect it from? Isn't that weird? Interesting. And Hashem God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and bad you must not eat. Therefore, for the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. Tasting of the tree. Now, we kind of know the end of this story here, because when Adam ate, he didn't die immediately. So what is this? What is this? This guy, this man, doesn't have a name yet, right? I don't think he named him yet. But this guy is in the Garden of Eden to work it and to protect it. Maybe to keep it, to work the land there, keeping it nice, you know, kind of like a caretaker, a land caretaker, or what they call a landscaper. So God made man to be a landscaper, you know, to take care of the Garden of Eden, make sure everything grows right, and to protect it, to keep everything from growing out of hand, to keep cutting it back every now and then. That makes sense? See, now in this part of the description here, we're getting more and more and more into what's happening in the physical realm. You know, what is happening when you apply all those principles that we learned in the first chapter of Genesis. What you can do in this realm with that knowledge. Okay? And here God is teaching man to to take care of things, to take responsibility for things. Make sense? Yeah. So, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad you must not eat, therefore, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. Hashem God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper, corresponding to him. Now Hashem God had formed out of the ground every beast of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call each one. And whatever man called each living creature, that remained its name. And the man assigned names to all the cattle, to all the birds of the sky, and to every beast of the field. But as for man, he did not find a helper corresponding to him. Okay. What was the state of man at this particular point in time? Man was still a spirit being, male and female. Man was in the image and likeness of God. Man was now has the ability to appear. When I picture this in my mind, I picture man as being a dust cloud, like Pigpen on the Peanuts. You know, at this kind of not really solid, not really liquid, but still in this form where it's not confined to this. Okay. Like a spirit, we'll say, like a spirit walking around. Okay, nothing physically solid or held together like this. It kind of looks like a mist. So that's the way that I picture it in my mind when I see this. The animals, on the other hand, though, were different. See, the animals, they were when Adam created that mental image picture in his mind and spoke to the sheep, spoke to the cow, spoke to the bird, it became a bird, solid thing. It had flesh. It had feathers. It had all those things. When he put all those things together at that point, but nothing corresponded. Nothing was like the man. Okay. Is that making sense here? There's this distinction between the physical form of a man and the physical form of the birds and sheep and cattle. Okay, it's different. They actually they actually had flesh, skin. Okay, the man did not at this point in time. We'll prove that here in a minute. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, so he assigned names, but could not find a helper corresponding to him. So Hashem God cast a deep sleep upon the man, and he slept. So here he took away the Spirit of God, the breath of life, took that away. See, now he's not a living being here. He's returned to God. To sit there for a minute. And he took one of his sides, and he filled in flesh in the space. So he took one of his sides. Some say it was a rib. But he took one of his sides. Now we know that in the beginning of man, the beginning of man's creation, that God made man in the image and likeness of God, male and female, he created him. So he took one of his sides. Male and female, he took the female side and separated it from him. And then made him whole again. So now it's a whole of this one side. We'll say man is the masculine side and woman is the feminine side. Okay? See? It's mind-blowing stuff here. It's been there all along. I'm just showing it to you. Okay. So, and God fashioned the side that he had taken from the man into a woman, and he brought her to the man, and the man said, "This time it is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. This shall be called womb man. For from man she was taken. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." There is so much here. For a man shall leave his father and mother, cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Tell me, who is Adam and Eve's father and mother? The gods. The gods were Adam and Eve's father and mother. But Adam and Eve were never born. They were not born. They don't have belly buttons. They don't have those. No, Adam and Eve were not born. They were, as Adam, he was a combination of the yin and yang, both the masculine and feminine energies. Then God separated them, made one the masculine energy and one the feminine energy. And when those two join together and become one again, they create an energy force that is more powerful than you can ever imagine. When a husband and wife, when a man and a woman join together and they are in unison, they are of one mind, there is nothing that can stop them from creating whatever they want to create. That is more powerful than anything on the planet because they have all of the energies working together. See? That's the key. Ever wonder why Jesus was so close to Mary Magdalene? Maybe they liked each other. I don't know. Maybe. But here we get here, and we're done with... Oh, and the very last thing they say here, which is something that is really, really profound. Yeah. They were both naked, and man and his wife the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Well, of course they were not ashamed, because they didn't start judging each other until after they got married. Then it's like, why don't you get over here and pick? Why aren't you? What are you doing with that man over there in that tree? What do you do? We're going to get into that story here in a minute, and you're going to find out something that is really, really amazing as we go into the chapter 3 of Genesis tomorrow. Yeah, some things in there are going to blow your mind. So, enjoy yourselves today. So please swirl that around in your noodle. Share, like, and subscribe. And until we meet again, I wish you well. Hey, before you go, I wanted to remind you to click the link below to try chocolate powder. It's full of vital nutrients that'll help jumpstart your day. They have sales all the time, so hurry and get yours today. Thanks.